Here's some Canadian news. They've been talking a lot about this financial budget. So I'm going to pop in a video and then I'll take it from there.
We are refocusing government spending while taking great care not to reduce the services and direct support that Canadians rely on.
It's a budget that's meant to help with the cost of living while also giving a jolt to the green economy. Budget 2023 includes that rumored grocery rebate and a path towards national dental care. But no mention at all of pharmacare, something the Supply and Confidence deal says has to be in place by the end of the year.
More and more families are having a very hard time making choices between paying the rent, putting food on the table, and paying for their medications.
Despite the lack of action on pharma, there's lots the NDP can be pleased with. The National Dental Care Program is here early, priced at $13 billion to start and $4.4 billion annually. Senior government officials say that's about $7 billion more than they first budgeted for.
$7 billion more than they first budgeted for. That's the government, all right. Personally, my whole life, I've never had a problem with dental. Never. I would say I don't know why the government's getting involved, but that'd be a lie. I know exactly why they're getting involved, so they can build the bureaucracy.
Finance minister promised fiscal restraint, but it's hard to see where.
Yes, it's a lot of money. It is a significant investment.
A significant investment. So, will there be a return on this investment? Or will it just wind up as debt? Probably debt.
And every single healthcare worker I have spoken to, every single nurse, every single doctor, every single personal support worker has said to me, you needed to do that.
When she says she's talked to doctors and nurses and stuff, I can't help but doubt that.
The fall economic statement said Canada planned to see a surplus by 2027-28, but the budget now projects a $14 billion shortfall that year.
$14 billion shortfall. Not surprised, because again, government. Also, the Liberals probably don't think they'll be in power in 2028. In other words, it'll be someone else's problem.
Complement America's Inflation Reduction Act, billions in refundable tax credits for the green economy, worth 30% of the cost of investments in new machinery and equipment used for things like processing critical minerals or manufacturing zero-emissions vehicles and batteries.
Rampant inflation, high gas prices, banks in the States are having problems, the economy's teetering on the brink, and what do they want to spend the money on? Green junk. Could it get any worse? Well, if the power grid can't handle all these electrical vehicles, it will.
The best way to complement what America's doing, but there are skeptics.
Trying to continually incentivize, instead of just make the investments, invest in what we need, and yes, then the private sector will come.
To raise money, Canada's cutting some spending. The civil service will spend $7.1 billion less on consultants over 5 years, but there's also tax hikes for big corporations and big earners.
$7 billion on consultants? Part of me wants to say that's good, but the other part of me wants to say, who are these consultants? And of course, what else is the government going to do? They're going to raise taxes on big earners, tax the rich and all that, I guess. Just hope you don't scare off the rich, because then you'll be screwed.
The alternative minimum tax goes up to 20.5%, up from 15%, and publicly traded corporations will face a 2% tax on share buybacks.
There would not have been an expansion or a continuing of doubling the GST tax credit, which is the grocery rebate, but for the fact that we forced this government to deliver that.
Today's budget by the costly coalition of the NDP and Liberals is a full frontal attack on the paychecks of hardworking Canadians.
In Ottawa,
So first off, props to City News. Their video was the least biased I could find. Now as for this grocery rebate thing, why don't you just lower taxes? In my opinion, if you lower taxes, the price of everything would go down. Then you wouldn't have to do this whole rebate thing. But then again, people look at that and they go, yay, the NDP, They're giving me a rebate. Yay! Anyway, that's it for my little ramble. Take care.